Let's talk about Halloween. Now, I know that Christians are divided when it comes to Halloween. There's a lot of Christians that say we take part in Halloween because it's a fun thing to do, right? We don't mean anything spiritual by it. We don't have any spiritual recognition of it. Now, there's Christians that are awake, like myself, that say Halloween is a big no-no, especially for the body of Christ. Now, if you know Aleister Crowley, he was an occult grandmaster. He introduced Satanism to modern day Hollywood, and he was the founder of a religion called the Lemma, a religion that says you are your own God, do what you will do. And he introduced witchcraft into modern day society, right? He said in an interview that when it comes to Halloween, it is the highest spiritual day of the satanic calendar. And at least Christians get to worship Satan one day a year. Why will he say something like that? Because he understood that there are Christians who are spiritually blind, who are willing to worship Satan and think nothing of it. We will never find a Satanist celebrating Christmas, even though we know that Jesus wasn't born on the 25th of December. Family, if you see me looking this way, we are going to go into some truths about Halloween, where it comes from, how it was merged into modern day pumpkins and trick-or-treating, and what is the real spiritual meaning of Halloween. Halloween comes from a Celtic or Celtic, however you want to pronounce it, pagan festival called Samhain. Samhain was the end of harvest, end of October, beginning of November, when they would harvest the crops. They would have this pagan festival. In Samhain, they believed that this is the time when you are harvesting your crops and your abundance of your crops to give honor, to give homage, or to give respect to the dead. We know as Christians, the Bible tells us that the dead have nothing to do with the living. This is the reason why we see modern day Halloween. It's all about graveyards, it's all about skeletons, it's all about skulls, it's all about the dead. Because in this Celtic festival named Samhain, they used to give honor to the dead for the harvest of their crops. And they also believed that that time when the people are harvesting and people are giving honor to the dead, they believed that the veil is the thinnest, that the world of the living and the world of the dead connects. And this is why in Halloween everything is about ghosts and spooks and the dead, because the festival originated, it is a pagan festival from that time. Then the Roman Empire, when they conquered the Celtic or Celtic territories, they incorporated two of their festivals into the Samhain festival. The first one was Feralia, the second one was Pomona. This comes from the Roman Empire, right? They conquered the Celtics and then they incorporated their festival into this yearly pagan festival when they would harvest their crops. After that, the Roman Catholic Church, this is why I keep telling people that Catholicism is not Christianity. It is not the following of Jesus Christ. Whether you want to believe that or you don't want to believe that, that is up to you. In the 8th century, there was a pope called Gregory III, and he made the celebration called All Saints' Day, where they celebrated all the saints, Saint Michael, Saint this one, Saint that one, right? As All Hallows' Day, which was November the 1st, okay? This also coincided the same time as that Celtic festival that was held before the Romans conquered the Celtics at the end of November, at end of October, beginning of November, okay? Then it became All Hallows Eve. So this Pope Gregory incorporated celebrating the saints of the Roman Catholic Church with the same festival. What happened in this festival? The customs surrounding Halloween were adopted. Lighting candles, which is what the Roman Catholics do. The veil, giving homage to the dead, which is what the Celtics did in this harvesting festival. Then they also believed in soul cakes, which is a form of alms to the dead, baking cakes and putting it outside your door for the dead to come and eat the cakes that you have baked. This we see with the modern day gifting of trick-or-treat, gifting of sweet things outside your door. The homeless, or not the homeless, the souls of the dead come and knock, and you give them sweets. Where does this come? From the soul cake. Now you take your child, or you take your children, you put a mask on them of something that is from the kingdom of darkness. They are an evil spirit. You put blood on them as if they've been in an accident. You're putting an identity with those masks on your children. And then your children goes to the doors in the neighborhood and they knock on the door and they are given sweets. Do you see how you are putting an identity of death on your children? We continue. Witches, magic, the occult. What happens spiritually in the realms of the occult? What happens in secret societies on Halloween? This is the day that they offer the most blood to demons. The day that most sacrifices are made, the day that most spells are made. And you as a born-again Christian, you as a believer, this is the day you send your children out with identities of the dead over them to go pick up soul cakes from the front doors, from the porches of people. You are playing with spiritual warfare things. You are playing with the occult. For those that are in Satanism, they take this day very seriously and they laugh and celebrate at the fact that Christians are taking part in Halloween. The American adaptation, how did Halloween get to America? Because that is the biggest culture. Let us look at it. In the 19th century, remember I said the Celtics were defeated by the Romans, and then in the 8th century, this Pope merged that Samhain festival, pagan festival, with the Catholicism Day of the Saints. He merged it, and then lighting candles, the soul cakes, all of that came about. This continued and continued until the 19th century, when Irish immigrants started going to the US. And as those Irish immigrants carried their customs, their cultures, their traditions into the US, and that is where they continued. But there in America, they found a lot of pumpkins around this time of fall. So they started carving the images of the dead into the pumpkins to celebrate Halloween. And that's how this Halloween has evolved. So please, family, take that information and do with it what you will. Halloween, the original meaning, and that stays up until this day. If you ask any Satanist, if you ask any occultist, if you ask any witch or warlock, they will tell you that they take Halloween very seriously. Halloween has demonic origins. It still is practiced in demonic ways. This is the truth about Halloween. And on Halloween, Christians should be staying in fervent prayer and not putting a mask on their children to go around to collect soul cakes, pretending or masking or cosplaying spirits of the dead. God bless.